Ladies and gentlemen, Toronto Maple Leafs fans, brace yourselves. We've got some electrifying news that could shake up the very foundation of our blue line. Rumors are swirling about a potential trade involving a veteran defenseman who could bring that much-needed grit to our roster. What does this mean for our playoff aspirations? Stay tuned as we dive into the details. And before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like to stay in the loop on all things Maple Leafs. All right, folks, let's dive into the latest buzz surrounding our beloved Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I know we've all been keeping a close eye on what's happening in the NHL, and I'm here to tell you that the stakes are high. The landscape is shifting, and we need to talk about how the recent trade rumors, particularly involving Vincent Desharnais of the Vancouver Canucks, could impact our squad. So, Desharnais has been struggling in Vancouver, and the Canucks are reportedly looking to move him. You know what that means, right? Opportunities are knocking. Desharnais, standing tall at 6'7" and weighing in at 226 pounds, is a physical defenseman. Yes, he's had his challenges, especially with puck handling, but let's not forget he brings that rugged presence to the blue line. Now, do I think the Leafs should take a flyer on him? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, we could use a big-bodied defenseman to bolster our lineup. With all the offensive talent we have, adding someone who can clear the crease and make those big hits might be just what we need to push us deeper into the playoffs. But on the other hand, do we really want to gamble on a player who hasn't found his footing this season? That's a tough call, and I know many of you are feeling similarly conflicted. Now let's look at the teams that might be in the running for Desharnais. The Chicago Blackhawks and the Montreal Canadiens are both eyeing him as a potential addition. Both teams have young, inexperienced defensemen, and bringing in Desharnais could provide them with some much-needed stability. The Blackhawks especially are in a position where they could take on his full contract without any salary retention from Vancouver. That's a luxury we may not have, and let's not forget about the Buffalo Sabres. They're in desperate need of defensive help after their recent struggles. They've been on a rough 10-game losing streak, and bringing in a physical guy like Desharnais could help them solidify their blue line. Now, if the Sabres swoop in and grab him, that could improve their chances significantly. And trust me, we don't want to see a rejuvenated Sabres team come playoff time. I want us to consider the ramifications of these moves. If Desharnais ends up with another team, it could impact our depth chart and our playoff aspirations. We need to keep an eye on how this unfolds, because if we're not careful, we could see ourselves on the wrong end of a trade that strengthens a rival. Now let's get back to us. What should the Maple Leafs do? Should we take a risk on Desharnais, or are there better options out there? I want to hear from you. Do you believe that bringing him into the fold would be the right move, or do you think we should stick to our current strategy and look elsewhere? I'm genuinely interested to know where you all stand on this. And remember, folks, every decision we make now is crucial for our playoff push. We've got to think strategically about our defense, about how we can support our superstar forwards, and how we can ensure we're not just contenders in the regular season, but real threats come playoff time. So, what's your take? Do you think pursuing Desharnais is a smart move, or do we need to keep searching for that perfect fit? I want to hear your thoughts, your expectations, your frustrations. Let's debate this. Drop your comments below. I'm eager to see what you all have to say. Let's talk about what's been happening lately with our Toronto Maple Leafs, because folks, it's getting intense. The latest moves the front office has made have some serious implications for our future, and we need to dive into this. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. The recent trades and signings have sparked a lot of discussions among us fans. Are we finally gearing up for a cup run, or are we just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic? You know I'm passionate about this team, and I'm sure many of you feel the same way. This team has a history and a legacy that we can't ignore. We've seen the highs, the lows, and everything in between, but can we trust these decisions? We recently signed some key players that have left us questioning the direction we're headed. Are they the right fit for our roster? I mean, we've got a solid core in place with Matthews, Marner, and Nylander. But what about the depth? That's where these recent acquisitions come into play. Are they the support we need, or are we just bringing in bodies to fill gaps? You believe that this was the best decision? I, honestly, am torn. Let's talk about our defense. It's been a hot topic for the past few seasons, and rightfully so. We've seen some shaky performances back there, and the last thing we need is another playoff exit because of defensive lapses. The front office has made some moves that could potentially shore up our blue line, but will it be enough? Can we count on these new players to step up in the playoffs? I hope so, because we can't afford another early exit. And let's not forget about our goaltending situation. Are we set for the playoffs? We've got some talented netminders, but consistency has been an issue. Can we trust them to hold the fort when it matters most? The pressure is on, and every fan knows that come playoff time, every save counts. The intensity rises, and we need our goalies to deliver. I'm excited but also anxious. The salary cap situation is another factor we can't ignore. With the cap going up, we've got some flexibility, but are we making the most of it? Are these contracts we're handing out smart, or just knee-jerk reactions to appease the fan base? I mean, I get it. We want to see action. But at what cost? The future of this franchise rests on these decisions, and every dollar counts. The one thing I can say for sure is that the passion in this city for the Maple Leafs is unmatched. We live and breathe this team, and every game feels like a roller coaster ride. The emotions, the highs, the lows, it's all part of being a Leaf fan. I want to hear from you all. What do you think about these moves? Are you optimistic, or are you feeling skeptical? Let's get the conversation going down in the comments. I want to know your expectations and frustrations. Are you ready to see this team make a deep playoff run, or do you think we need to rethink our strategy? I'm all ears, so drop your thoughts below. And before I wrap this up, I want to make sure you all know how important it is to stay connected. Hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the latest updates. And don't forget to ring that notification bell because you'll want to be the first to know when I drop new content about our beloved Leafs. Let's keep this conversation going, and let's push our team towards greatness together.